Hey guys, Vega here, and today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the Jades of 9 Souls. We'll be getting into the numbers, synergies, uses, and basically anything you could want to know about them. There are 28 unique Jades in total, but today we'll be focusing on the Teal Jades, including the Iron Skin, Breather, Recovery, Medical, Quick Dose, and Revival Jades. Before we delve in though, just a heads up that we now have a Discord, so if you want to come and hang out and have a chat, I'll leave a link below. Now, without further ado, let's jump right in. Iron Skin Jade. This Jade is given by Shiyu in exchange for the Legend of Porky Heroes. This is in turn given by Xuan Xuan after giving him the 4 treasures of the study artifact. Iron Skin costs 3 CP to equip and converts a portion of damage taken into internal damage. When taking damage with this Jade equipped, 50% of it will instead be dealt as internal damage, giving you the potential to heal it back without having to use the pipe. This effect can be very useful, however the high CP cost can be a lot to ask. This Jade only prevents damage done to real health and specifically from enemies. It does not interact with internal damage in any way, which means if you take more than a single hit at once, only the most recent hit will have its damage reduced, as the internal damage from previous hits will be converted to real damage with no reduction applied. Any self-inflicted damage, such as from the Swift Blade or Key Swipe, are also not affected, and things like fire and damage over time effects are also excluded. This Jade is best paired up with other Jades that can help with internal damage, and this includes the usual suspects of the Recovery Jade, Breather Jade, and Reciprocation Jade, which all help offload that internal damage. Breather Jade. This Jade can be found in a chest in the outer warehouse. Breather Jade costs 2 CP to equip and heals a portion of internal damage each time you hit an enemy. The exact amount of internal damage recovered is 5 per hit. Using the normal 3-hit combo, we can do about 2.2 attacks per second, meaning as long as we're hitting something, we can be healing around 11 health per second. If we jump cancel the last attack for a quicker combo, we can get this number to around 14 health per second. And of course, this doesn't interrupt the natural 4 regen per second, which kicks in after not taking damage for 5 seconds. This Jade is usually in direct competition with the Recovery Jade, and assuming there's always something to be hitting, this Jade would pull ahead on paper, but where this Jade shines is with other Jades that self-inflict internal damage. Anytime you take internal damage, the regen delay counter is reset, which can hinder the effectiveness of the Recovery Jade. But since this Jade doesn't use that mechanic to do its healing, it's not an issue, and it makes it the better choice for pairing it with Jades such as the Swift Blade and the Key Swipe Jades. And it's not too bad with the Steely Jade and Iron Skin Jade as well, as it will help heal back any internal damage taken. Recovery Jade. This Jade can be purchased for 1000 Jin from Shiyu. The Recovery Jade costs 2 CP to equip and speeds up the rate the internal damage is recovered. The Recovery Jade has 2 different effects, the first being to reduce the internal damage regen delay from 5 seconds without getting hit to 3 seconds, and the second is to triple that regen from 4 health per second to 12 health per second. To put that into perspective, that means we go from taking 60 seconds to regen our entire health bar to 20 seconds. This is a more defensive method of regaining internal damage compared to Breather, but as long as it's not constantly being interrupted, it's probably going to be providing more healing per second in most fights, outside of a player who can put a lot of pressure on the boss with constant hits. As mentioned, it does have some anti-synergy with the Swift Blade and Key Swipe Jade due to them deactivating and resetting the regen timer, but as long as you play with that in mind, it's still an effective way to heal it back. And it is of course great with Steely Jade and Iron Skin Jade as well, as you'll be taking a lot of internal damage. Medical Jade. This Jade can be crafted at the 3D printer for 500 Jin at the pavilion. The Medical Jade costs 2 CP to equip and increases the health the pipe restores at the cost of it being over time instead of instant. With a fully upgraded medicine pipe, you'll be instantly healing 120 health, whereas with the Medical Jade equipped, this number is increased by an extra 50%, giving us 180 health back over 4.9 seconds, or 36.73 health per second. Taking any damage during this time will stop the healing process short, although internal damage, such as from imperfect parries or your own Jades, will not interrupt the heal. But be sure to play defensively until you get the full heal to maximize its value. After taking a puff, you'll need to avoid interrupting the heal for at least 3.26 seconds to break even with the base heal, and from then on, you'll be getting an extra half heal again that you wouldn't normally have gotten without the Medical Jade equipped. Overall, this is a solid Jade if you can avoid damage and can take the time to get the full heal, but it does have a bit of risk associated to it if you're struggling to avoid the damage in the first place, so it's probably better suited to exploring where you can take a moment after each fight than it is in high intensity boss fights. It does have some synergy with the Revival Jade. With all max health upgrades, the Revival Jade will revive you with 60 health, meaning a single heal with a maxed out pipe, and the Medical Jade will get you to exactly 100% health. And of course, although maybe a little overkill, it also pairs up with the Quick Dose Jade, which will make it a bit easier to use in combat. Quick Dose Jade. This Jade can be purchased for 1250 Jin from Shiyu. The Quick Dose Jade costs 2 CP to equip and reduces the time it takes to use the Medicine Pipe. Normally the Medicine Pipe will take 0.85 seconds to use before you regain control. With the Quick Dose Jade equipped, this time is cut by 40%, taking us to 0.51 seconds to use. This is hugely useful during boss fights, especially when you're still learning the pattern, and it can mean the difference between getting a heal off and surviving versus outright dying. And even when you do know the fight's a bit better, this can still help you get a cheeky heal off in situations you otherwise probably couldn't have. As we mentioned a minute ago, this Jade can be paired up with the Medical Jade for safer heals, helping you ensure you get the most out of the heal over time. Revival Jade. This Jade is given freely by Shiyu after extending the bridge from the outer warehouse to the factory Great Hall. If this opportunity is missed, however, he'll sell it to you for 2000 Jin after escaping the prison. The Revival Jade costs 2 CP to equip and will save you from death when your health hits 0. Upon dying with this Jade equipped, Yi will be instantly revived with 0.5 seconds of invincibility and regain 25% of his health back. This effect can only be used once per life and needs to be reset by sitting at a root node. A symbol in the top left of the screen over Yi's heart will indicate if it is currently available. This Jade was one of my favourites for the first portion of the game and essentially gives you a free get out of jail card for your first death of each fight. Eventually though, there are probably more useful Jades to use in its place, but if you're struggling to learn the game early on, this Jade definitely helps let you ease into it a bit. Just be careful as effects such as fire can still instantly kill you right after the invincibility buff ends, as there is a bit of a delay before the healing comes through, so you'll be sitting at 1 health briefly. It does have some synergy with the Last Stand Jade, as you'll need to be below 25% health to get the damage buff, putting you in extreme danger of death. Sadly, once you do get revived with 25% health, you won't quite re-trigger the damage buff effect until you can manage to take a little bit of damage and drop yourself back below the 25% mark. It also synergizes with the Swiftblade Jade, which has the potential to get you to very low health if not offloading the internal damage. And that's all for this one. Consider dropping a like or subscribing if you found this helpful. If you're looking for something else to watch, maybe check out one of these videos on screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.